This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
This morning, and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. And you are on the clock with Erin Greene on this Monday, the 23rd of August, 2021. On the clock, we engage organizations, institutions, social and cultural leaders, and ordinary people to better understand the impact of public policy, private sector development, and emerging social and consumer trends. On the clock, we have conversations that help us understand and navigate a rapidly changing Bahamas. Today's show is brought to you by the Department of Inland Revenue, and we'll start the show with a brief message from the Department of Inland Revenue. You can save on your real property tax. Bahamian property owners can now take advantage of waivers on their real property tax in one of two ways. One, you can bring your account to zero, or two, you can get a payment plan. The offer ends August 31st, 2021. For further information, email rptforgive@bahamas.gov.bs or call 242-225-5778, toll free. Again, this message is brought to you by the Department of Inland Revenue. Well, good morning. It's a beautiful morning this morning. It's plenty news to talk about. I don't have a guest in studio with me today, so my audience is my guest, and let me start by giving you all of the ways that you can connect with the show today. You can call us at 323-6232, 323-6232, 325-4316, or 325-4259. You can also text us on the Guardian Radio text line. That's 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. And that's powered by BTC. Standard text rates apply. Remember, we're streaming live audio and video on GuardianTalkRadio.com. You can also listen in on TV on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, or Flow Channel 612. Or you can download the Guardian Radio app for your Apple or Android smart devices and listen to our audio feed or watch us on our video feed right there on the Guardian Radio app. Well, good yawning this morning. I want to start the show by sending a shout out to a young woman by the name of Jamie that works at Aquafire. And all I could say, Jamie, is this whole weekend, my Facebook feed is lit up with people talking about the excellent customer service that you provide. So if there are any human resource managers out there, anybody at BTVI or UB who are conducting courses in hospitality and customer service and things like that, y'all need to go check out this young woman, because I heard that she's just fire. Just fire. Enough for me to be inspired to share this word today. I also want to remind people that nomination day is August 27th. So for any of you independents out there, any of you people who are tired of the current political culture and don't know if you could continue to participate in party politics, August 27th is your last day to nominate as an independent. I also want to acknowledge that I think we are in the 8th year of the International Decade for People of African Descent, or for peoples of African descent. And today, August 23rd, is the International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. And very quickly, this date was chosen to commemorate the beginnings of the uprisings which happened the night of August 22nd, 23rd in Santo Domingo, now Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and which played a crucial role in slavery's eventual abolition. According to UNESCO, this International Day is intended to inscribe the tragedy of the slave trade in the memory of all peoples, an opportunity for collective consideration of the historic causes, the methods, and the consequences of this tragedy, and for an analysis of the interactions to which it has given rise between Africa, Europe, the Americas, and the Caribbean. A couple of more things in the headlines. Abaco hurricane shelters still not ready. It is Monday the 23rd of August. We are already 2 3/4. We are already 3 months into hurricane season. And yet in Abaco, of all places, hurricane shelters are still not ready. This is a major indictment on this administration. And it's a major indictment on all of us, as citizens, the collective, that we would allow an environment to linger where the survivors of the deadliest storm on record in history on this side of the hemisphere, this side of the planet, that we would not tend to both the physical and psychological needs of our brothers and sisters in Abaco. It's a devastating tale is what it is, and we, the collective, have a lot to repent for and ask for forgiveness for. On another note, the sick out continues. The sick out continues. Don't forget. Just because you ain't sick and don't have to go to the hospital, don't forget that the sick out continues. And it seems as if we no longer have to ask the Minister of Health to resign because his colleagues sort of set the ball rolling. It's up to us now to determine what happens next. That's another note I want to make. The police released a statement this weekend about campaign signs and posters and billboards. And they made an important notice that it is against the law to interfere with any of these political billboards and posters and signs because these political parties would have gotten permission to erect these posters and billboards in public spaces or on private spaces with the permission of the property owners. So instead of doing the country a favor and removing these eyesores, do the country a favor and call your MP. Call him. Sit on your phone and harass. No, don't harass. That's a bad word. Call until you get through. Call your MP and call every single candidate running in your constituency. Call the party leadership and let them know that this is unacceptable. Just let them know it's unacceptable. See, because now is the only time that they really focus on answering their phone, so it's a good time to call. But don't get yourself in problems. Don't get yourself locked up. Somehow, people were given permission to litter the roadways with these signs. They were given permission to do it. It seems that nobody paid attention to what was happening. There is no scheme, no schematic, no plan, no policy, no standard set for what the billboard should look like. And so they could do that, right? I, however, will say that there are some billboards that are erected in places that then become an obstacle for road users. They block your view coming out of corners. And I'm going to ask the party leadership to take a drive around the island today and make sure that your signs aren't a barrier to drivers, to road users, and to general enjoyment of our environment. But most importantly, don't get yourself locked up. taking down those signs. What I am going to do is I'm going to do some research. I think there's an environmental law that requires that if you put up a sign or an advertisement, that you are required to remove that advertisement after 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks after the event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to research that, make sure that's correct, and then I'm going to encourage political parties who put up billboards to collect the billboards immediately after the election, the day after, collect your billboards, stack them up, and then figure out what you could do with them. I know there are teachers who could use poster board, the corrugated plastic, to make billboards and make signs and make posters for their classes, right? I know we're in virtual classrooms, but that doesn't mean that a teacher can't put up a poster board and then use the camera to zoom in on it for a lesson. So between now and then, we're going to have plenty of ideas of what we could do to recycle, upcycle, and repurpose those poster boards. Somebody said it's like one big hot dog sandwich driving down the road. It's just amazing. I see you, caller. Hold the line. I won't take long. I just got a couple more things before we get into the discussion for today. I guess I have some sad news. I want to send condolences to the family of Joan Butler. This is the wife of the former Assistant Commissioner of Police, Alonzo Butler, who would have passed away approximately a year ago, roughly a year ago. Joan Butler is my aunt, and I want to say condolences to the Butler, Hasty, and Greene families. Joan Butler was just an amazing woman. And there's not enough time or space to share all that must be shared about her beautiful, beautiful life. But I want to send condolences to my family, to my cousins, to the wider extended family, to her friends and her family of friends, to the people that I don't know and will never know. I want to say condolences, as I imagine that she has touched your heart in the same way that she has touched my heart. It was a shocker this weekend, absolutely. But rest in peace, Auntie, rest in peace. I got one more piece of business that I have to take care of before I get into the show, caller, and then I'm coming to you right away. On the weekend, I found my theme song. On Friday, when we had the guest solo made on, I told y'all that I need my own theme song. I ain't worried about no candidates. When the candidates walk into my space, they can hear my theme song playing. And I found my theme song. It is a song, well, in fact, let me tell you how I found it. So this weekend, I saw this video of this handsome boy singing one song, and the song is very familiar to me. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I don't follow up handsome man. That's the most important thing my grandmother teach me. So when I saw the video, I didn't realize it was Shine, the very Shine Lovato Stubbs, Bahamian artist extraordinaire that was on my show a few months ago, right? A guest provided by Cultural Experience Productions. And so I didn't realize it was Shine, but the song was familiar to me. So I see this boy Shine performing this song, I think at Pompey Square somewhere, and I was like, bingo bango. The song is called Conch and Mango Don't Grow on the Same Tree. And I don't know if you all ever heard it, but it is a classic. It goes, conch and mango don't grow on the same tree. Conch and mango don't grow on the same tree. Conch don't even grow on tree. That's why you could never be like me. Anyway, that is my new theme song. So any candidate rolling up on me, look here, you better, when you hear that song, you better know what to do. Because conch don't even grow on tree. That's why you can never be like me. Now, that song was written by a young woman by the name of Valene Roll. Valene Roll is a member of the Spot Improv comedy troupe that I perform with. And we performed that song as the Baintown Symphonics, that's a little children's choir from the inner city. We performed that song, right, on stage at the Dundas. And I was just overwhelmed, as was Val, to hear Shine put music to the song. And so I just got a couple of words for Shine. First of all, you bust a hole in the track. That was awesome. Second of all, I'm mad at you because you ain't called me to be a backup dancer. And I guarantee I am the best backup dancer except for singing Pastor Lawrence Roll backup dancers because they have the Olympic gold medal in backup dancing. So I only mad that you ain't called me and Val to be backup dancers in the new rendition of this song. But I'm going to find the song for you guys, my audience. Not today. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'm going to find it and I'm going to play it. Because I think this needs to be the whole country theme song for the upcoming 2021 general election. Right? Since parties think only them could have theme song, we, the people, need to have our own theme song. And I think conch and mango don't grow on the same tree is it. It is the thing. We can talk about that a little bit more because we got 3.5 weeks, 3.5 weeks before this election. And we got 3.5 weeks before this election, and we, the people, got some talking to do. I got a quick text here, Lovato Sands, not Lovato Stubbs. I apologize, Shine. I put your name in there, Stubbs. That's a little trick because, like I told you, I don't follow up on Handsome Man, and I can't call you in the middle of the night to beg you to sing me a song, sing me to sleep, if I don't have the right number in my phone. Another text, hi, I watched the British Parliament yesterday, and it appears they all have divine immunity from COVID-19. No social distancing, no mask. I admire the British and the Scottish. Rule Britannia. I imagine that those people in Parliament, maybe some of them are vaccinated. Another text, people are, great show as usual, Mrs. Greene. You see how the USA runner get beat like an Indian drum on the tracks yesterday. How could you come hot last and still talk bad about people? We're going to get into that in a second. Texter, let me get to the phone line. Caller, you're on the clock.
Caller, it is talking voice.
Hey, good
with you, Erin.
Good morning, Bremen. How you doing?
I'm holding, thank God. Couple of points, but before I make 2 points, right?
Yes, sir.
You have your song copywritten?
Val Roll is in the process of formalizing, I think, the copyright, but
Yes.
we already have it documented on film that she is the writer of the song and composer of the song.
Yeah, we'll have it copyright so nobody could steal it.
Oh,
my
yeah.
other point is, right, my other 2 points. I being the court on the 9th, found somebody over the police to keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
The magistrate put it in central police station computer. Plus, she gave me a letter to take to Central.
Uh-huh.
Well, the person that runs Central wasn't there, so I took it to headquarters, and they had it to send to the person that runs Central.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, this guy continued. The other day, he broke my...
Hold on, Bremen.
That guy?
You don't want to prejudice. You don't want to prejudice your matter before the courts.
No. My point is, the police need to pick him up because he given me problem.
Ah.
And then other thing is, right, with BTC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those people would work from home. The government should do something about that because when you call, sometimes their children be distracting them and the callers. Okay?
Okay.
It's a problem.
I get you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Boy, Bremen, I wait till you hang up the phone to tell you sometimes I just be happy they answer the phone at all. In fact, if they children answer the phone and try and help me, I'll be happy. I could be honest with you. I'll take that over some of what I get sometimes. Caller, you are on the clock.
Good morning, Erin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning.
So thank God for another day. Every morning I wake up, I always want to thank God for what He got there, because He didn't have to do it. today, after I listened to the Prime Minister's speech last night.
Yes.
Well, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
He didn't tell me anything new. He didn't motivate me anything. But then again, I remember that he was a man. And the God that I serve tells me not to dwell on that. Because it's disappointing. Today,
Yes.
when he asked me to vote for him, I can't. I haven't seen no conflict that this man has solved, other than here he is and all this story with all these vaccines here and stuff like that. Yes, they're here, but even if I take two shots, I can still catch that. I can still pass it on according to the information the scientists give us.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say is that the God that we serve, he doesn't halfway do a job. He delivers on the promise of when he says something, does it, and that's it. It doesn't come back around. It does not grow from there because he says it. So as a people, we need to seek his face, and call his name. And the job is done, you see. And Erin, you're a wonderful host. And I thank God for what I listen to, and we got to press on,
Thank you.
Thanks for encouraging me.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. After listening to the call, it was a bit choppy. After I take this next call, one of the things I want to talk about is how do we prepare for this upcoming election? We, given the constraints in front of us, we have 3.5 weeks to prepare. We have 3.5 weeks in the midst of a pandemic that restricts our movement and restricts our capacity to put people in one space. And so it's going to require a lot of us, right? And I want to talk about what is required of us, the people, and what is required of the politicians to prepare for this moment. But to what some of the things the caller said just now, there's also another layer of preparation that we, the people, are going to have to do, right? And that is for when the election is over. Because you see, no matter who wins the election, they're going to need our help to realize the promises that they made. See, this is why this whole conversation about trust and the trust deficit is so important, right? Because there's nothing worse than somebody making a promise to you. And when you ask them how they're going to deliver, they tell you, don't worry, they got to get in power to do it. And then when they get in power, they realize, or it becomes abundantly clear, that they cannot do what it is they promised without your help. You see, but here's the rub. When you try to have that conversation with them, they brush you off. They tell you it's unnecessary. We don't need to talk about that right now. But when it's crunch time, when the rubber hits the road, right? Then it's paramount that you participate. It's important that you acknowledge that this can't work unless you do your part. In fact, politicians like to throw that down our throat, that this thing can't work unless you do your part. Well, when we were trying to ask you what our part would be, you didn't have any conversation for us. We weren't important enough to share that with. And so, in the face of that, I got to say this to the Bahamian people. It doesn't matter who we elect, they need us. This isn't any extortion type situation, though. They need us to help them fulfill the promises they made. They need us to help them complete the agendas that they put on the table. Whether it's our agenda or not, whether it's our party or not, whether it's the person we voted for or not. The first thing that we have to acknowledge moving forward is that none of these things that the government promised can be achieved without our participation in the process of governance. We have to step up to the plate. We have to create the agencies, institutions, and mechanisms necessary to realize the policies and ideas that are on the table. Whether it's an idea we, the people, give to the government, or it's an idea they came up with on their own, like they're prone to do. But take a pause there. Let's go to this next caller. Caller, you're on the clock.
Erin, Greene.
Good morning.
Boy, thanks for taking the pause.
Sorry about that.
Sound like a parliament. I thought I was watching Parliamentary Channel just now.
Well, listen, let me show you something. We got 3.5 weeks, but don't watch nothing. I'm going to bring in guests. It ain't going to just be me talking.
Yeah, but also I agree with Raymond. The chairman needed to look at that BTC thing.
Uh-huh.
People inside their home, that don't work. So you do hear some strange things in the night, almost like, Michael Jackson beat it. And that one, Thriller.
Yeah, the scary things in the night.
Thriller in the night time. They need to go more quickly. And also, the supervisors, you can't get to the supervisors. Don't return your call. If Jamaican people got to call me, CWC looking at it, they call me. They serve me well.
Yeah.
That's a while ago. That's why I couldn't call you, because if that they asked me, they say, they heard Michael various complaints,
Yeah.
They ain't fixed on time.
Yeah.
The radio I'm listening to, everybody do things on TV. So I'm listening to you on television.
Yeah.
So you come in like a static.
Absolutely.
But my second point is, Erin, I agree with you. Don't just celebrate and please don't be wilding. Don't be celebrating PLP after them without laying down your table to your leader. What you want next 5 years. Because right now they're complaining. The prime minister ain't doing nothing. They're complaining for the last 5 years. So lay down, when you have these meetings, tell your leader, your MP, your candidates, what you want for the next 5 years, what you want them to do. I want local government. I always preach on local government. I don't want my candidate come to my face. Call me.
Yes.
Or let's do a Zoom. Come on, this technology, let's do a Zoom and find out what function you don't want. I want local government and so on. Leaders got to be creative.
Yeah.
And the WhatsApp thing is all right, but WhatsApp, you got to have fun on the WhatsApp, but play what you want right. Come on, you been in school, right? And WhatsApp, and these candidate watch, they all WhatsApp. All the PLPs in WhatsApp, FNM, what have you. Tell them what you want.
Absolutely. I
tell them, come on, let's have fun. I like election, let's have fun, but I tell you what I want. And I'm going to prepare a note. What have you done for the last 5 years? You ain't do nothing for me in the last 5 years. I kick you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how we got to look at it, because if you don't do it that way, when the PRB come in, it'll be the same complaint. They ain't doing nothing. Because you didn't tell them what you want them to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You were not holding them to it.
You haven't given them a clear mandate. And in fact,
clear mandate, and hold them to the mandate.
Right. I will argue this, that over successive years, I would say for the last 48 or so years, the only clear, coherent, collective message that any politician could garner or glean, right? That's like, could get a sense of, because nobody is actually saying it out loud, is, from the Bahamian people is, quote, keep our money right. That's it.
Right.
That's it. We have not articulated anything, period. As a people, as a collective, we have not articulated anything to the Bahamian government that we want.
Right.
And what the Bahamian government has done is sat back and sort of said, well, what I'm seeing from them is they're concerned about their ability to make money and the power of their money in the global economy, right? What is my money worth in the global economy and my ability to make money? And that's it. We haven't even talked about the conditions in which we make money. Right? We all we say is just make it possible for me to put Bob in my pocket, in my wallet. We haven't said ensure that there are adequate or above adequate working conditions for anybody who is doing labor in this country. And you see, that's a difference. That's a difference between just keep my money straight.
Right.
Yeah.
And making sure you invested good.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, we need a question, why a snappy election?
Buddy, listen, well,
my mandate is 5 years.
We're going to get a little bit more into that tomorrow. I got a guest
Yeah.
who I think will be very interesting for us to try figure out why a snap election, because I think I have a note somewhere. We haven't had a snap election since 68 or something like that.
I understand through my source. You could go write me on your show, because I got a good source. There was trouble in the camp.
I got you. Well, listen, you tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna get to some more texts.
When you tomorrow when you come on, there's a lot of Thriller. So play the Michael Jackson song Thriller.
I got you.
There's a lot of Thriller out there.
I got you, buddy.
Have a good day.
Absolutely, there is a lot of Thriller out there. Arlington, is it a good time to go to a break? Yeah, let's go to a break, and then I can tell you about the Thriller moment I had on the road this morning on the way to the station. You're listening to On the Clock with Erin Greene. Stay tuned to 96.9 FM Guardian Radio. We will be right back.
I've been representing all my life. I'm getting ready to make it count this time. Since it's 2021 for your family line, you better get ready. It's about that time. So tell mama to be ready. Tell it to the whole family. The rock the top 4-2. The count depends on you. So tell Ted to go tell below. Mark it down on your calendar. Since it's 2021, this one's for everyone.
Like what you're hearing on the show? Want to support the conversation? Sponsor On the Clock today. Call Janet Lees at 302-2304. That's 302-2304. Be the solution. Sponsor On the Clock with Erin Greene, where she dissects, we discuss, and you decide.
The new Guardian Radio app is here. Listen live to all our Guardian Radio shows and live video stream select programs in our studio. Get information about Guardian Radio shows and our hosts. Send messages, including text, email, and even call. All from our amazing new Guardian Radio app. Download it free today in your App Store for your Apple device or Play Store for your Android device. The all-new and improved Guardian Radio app.
I've been representing all my life. I'm getting ready to make it count this time. Since it's 2021 for your family line, you better get ready. It's about that time. So tell mama to be ready. Tell it to the whole family. The rock the top 4-2. The count depends on you. So tell Ted to go tell below. Mark it down on your calendar. Since it's 2021, this one's for everyone.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. Ah, boy, we got 3.5 weeks, right? And there is so much to do and so much to say. Let me take a moment here to say something. I'm hoping the candidates and parties take the opportunities available to engage voters through the radio seriously. I hope that given the constraints presented by the pandemic and the short time available, that they understand the need to engage voters and constituents with their ideas, policies, and solutions for problems and issues we face. Not every voter is alike. Every voter does not respond to the same gimmicks and methods of engagement. I also hope they realize that not answering a question is also an answer. And for many voters, it's not really the answer that's important, but more importantly, how you respond when the question is asked. So over the next 3.5 weeks, I'll be asking lots of questions. And I hope that candidates step up to the mic to answer them. But I hope you, my audience, consider them also and create your own list of questions to ask candidates. In the lead up to the general election 2017, I made the point repeatedly and on air and to friends and acquaintances that politicians will continue to make desperate promises in an attempt to get themselves elected or reelected. $100,000 per person per annum per year, sound familiar? And that we should make politicians publicly commit to these promises. Now, after the general election 2017, a part of me wants to say, I told you so. But that would be as cruel as the utter disregard for citizens constantly displayed by our elected officials. And I know that many Bahamians are devastated by the actions of politicians that made promises both publicly and in private in 2017. And so I want new candidates in particular to take these next 3 weeks seriously and every opportunity to engage voters seriously. And in particular, that even no answer is an answer. Like I say, when I ask questions, I'm less concerned about the answer that you give me, because there's really no right answer, and more concerned about how you respond when I ask you a question. And here are some of the questions that I'm going to be asking candidates over the next 3.5 weeks. This is not an exhaustive list. This ain't the whole list. But hold on. How do you balance your obligation or duty to the Constitution and nation state, to constituents, to the party, and to cabinet? And in the same sense, how are you going to balance your obligations to preserve the past, provide for the present, and to prepare for the future? And by extension, how do you balance your obligation to follow the majority, the wishes of the majority, but to protect the minority at any time and in any situation? See, these are some of the, I think these are some of the questions that we need to start asking the people who want to lead us. One of the most important questions on my list is, how do you do what you know you ought to do when you know you ought to do it? How do you do what you know you're supposed to do when you know you're supposed to do it? And how do you cause or compel others to discipline themselves? And in terms of leadership, how do you cause and compel citizens to be disciplined? Now, this is a far more important question to me than what you could do for me. See, when a voter asks a candidate, what you could do for me? My fridge broke. My TV on the fritz. My air conditioner ain't working. I'm not interested in the politician that says, I could buy you a new fridge. I could get you a new AC. Right? I'm interested in the politician that says, we're going to ensure that BTVI, in partnership with the private sector, can provide small home repair courses or classes in constituency spaces. I'm going to ensure that the people in your household, or you, if you want, have the opportunity to learn a small skill that could help you maybe repair your air conditioning unit, or find a second-hand refrigerator and upgrade it or enhance it. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. So you got a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock.
Good morning, and thanks for taking my call. On the clock it is.
Good morning, sir.
You know, there's a saying that God does not choose perfect men. He chooses men perfect for the job. I have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you see, this thing about man, because, can you say over the past years, if we are saying that the voice of the people is the voice of God, I really ain't too interested in hearing him no more. Because we have been electing people, and these men who, is it possible for us to try the woman this time? Because the men have, all they're doing is driving us straight to hell. Look at what's happening. Right when we are at the point of breaking, our leader decide to abort us. And that's abortion. That's what gynecologists do quite easily. It's an easy thing to do. And it's happening all around the world. You look at Afghanistan. Their leader break off running and left the Taliban to kill all the females. He break off running, leave the virus to just consume us. Should have been still at the wheel trying to fix the situation instead of hiding behind some little stupid election. I think we need to send a strong message because, the Prime Minister, he said that, we're preparing for elections. He says, now, as we prepare for elections, the country is preparing. He has had the ability to prepare for 4 years. Can drop this on us to vote within 3 weeks, to choose between the devil and Satan. Please, I think we should look carefully at who we choose this time because God really looking for a woman, I think, to do this job because the men all around the world have failed us. And you can check. Every place where Jesus walked is catching hell. That was a man. And thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, thanks for sharing your frank beliefs and opinions. I understand your frustration. I can understand how you feel. I want to say this. There are lots of people, even in the Bahamas, that are ready for something different. And they're prepared to see a woman at the helm. They are admiring the work of leaders like Arden in New Zealand, I think, and Motley in Barbados, and wondering why we aren't prepared to take a chance. But I'll say this again, like woman, like man, we all fallible. And no matter who we elect, even if we elect a woman, we're not going to achieve what it is we want or what it is we need unless we can get buy-in from all levels. And what I mean is participation in governance from everybody in society at every level, right? And so even if we elect a woman, we need voters and the electorate, right, as separate, because you may not vote, but I still need you to participate. We still need to form functioning mechanisms and institutions like guilds and associations and unions, right, that work, that produce data and information, and not just opinion pieces, but informed essays and research on these particular industries to grow them, to provide the government with the data and information they need to create regulations and to create an environment in which the country could grow. And see, that's why I get upset with prominent people and stakeholders in industries attaching themselves to political parties. Because as soon as you attach yourself to a political party, your voice becomes polarized, right? And then you become lost in the political culture and party rhetoric. And what we need are institutions that can stand separate and apart from the political culture and governing mechanisms, right? Like how we have the separation of powers. We need them to sit apart from but participate with government and governance to grow this country. None of these people could do it alone. And that's why I knew in 2017 that this is the sort of thing we were going to be seeing in 2020 and 2021. Because from 2017, it was obvious that the parties themselves didn't know how to inspire or compel the private sector and civil society to do their work and participate in governance. In fact, the political class and the political culture, through their rhetoric, can't help but be divisive and separate people. The political culture itself needs to learn how to operate in a way that it doesn't separate people through party lines and party colors. And we see this through this inane and silly hiring policy where if you're a consultant under one administration, there's no way you could be a consultant under another administration. But how do we expect continuity in programming and policy if we're going to do that? We're so busy, we allowed politics to consume governance. And it started with the creation of this office of the Deputy Prime Minister, because the Constitution didn't create it, politics created it. See, I got a couple of texts here. Hi, the last slogan, "It's the people's time," was the clearest, honest message ever, because it never stated time for what? Like a new day. A new day for what? Another text, Erin, as unfortunate as it seems, the FNM's going to win again. The PLP underestimate the Bahamian people. It's going to be a back-to-back victory, a very close race, with the FNM edging out the win by 6 to 9 seats. That sounds reasonable. See, but here's the point. It don't matter if the FNM wins again by 6 to 9 seats or by a landslide or by 1 seat, unless we the people beyond the voter, beyond the electorate, unless we step up to the plate and start doing our job, unless we start creating the institutions, the associations to provide oversight and regulation, then we're going to be in the same mess come 2027 or whenever somebody decide to call a snap election, because we can't sustain a coherent discussion, right? And I just want people to remember, now that the House is dissolved and prorogued, this is the same administration that promised you fixed election dates, right? With candidates that had the temerity and the fortitude to guarantee that within 100 days they were going to have a list of accomplishments for us. And we need to do an analysis of how many on that list, that 100-day list, were achieved before the people's agenda was called to an abrupt halt. Oh, there's plenty of things we have to talk about over the next 3 weeks, my people. Another text, people are going to vote out minutes because they're tired of getting locked down, but Jamaica just got locked down again, and if Brave become PM, he will more than likely lock down the country as well to stop the spread. As usual, who you think have to lose more from winning the election? Because if Brave loses, it's his last chance to go to the top of the mountain by becoming PM. If Minutes lose, he already been to the promised land by becoming PM, and he found out it ain't all what it crack up to be. I can be honest with you. If we the people don't step up to the plate and start taking our participation in governance seriously, we the people will be the loser again. Maybe you guys have not noticed, but there is no loser in the two-party system. That's why the politicians keep telling you it's only a two-party system and there's no space for any more, because there is no loser except the Bahamian people. The first winner is the government. The second winner is the opposition. The first loser is the Bahamian people. So as we run out of time, like I say, over the next 3.5 weeks, I would like to invite guests onto the show and audience members to participate, to have the types of conversations necessary to prepare the Bahamian public and voter for their role in the process of governance. And to have I think the most important conversation. We can't do any of this safely, sensibly, unless we, the collective, commit to disciplining ourselves and doing in every moment what we know we ought to do when we know we ought to do it. And so as I close the show, I want to say good morning to the woman that exited Delancey Street onto Meeting Street this morning. And if you don't know how horrendous that is, that's a one-way street. And she came out the wrong way, but it gets better. When she came out that corner, she cut off her 18-wheeler as he was coming over Nassau Street. Sorry, not Meeting Street. Delancey at Nassau Street. She came out the wrong way. And that truck coming over Nassau Street, sometimes you can't see what's coming out of that, what's at that intersection because of the way the road is constructed. See, we can't have an election in 3.5 weeks in the middle of a pandemic if people are going to insist that they can do things like that. If people are going to insist that they can turn right on red or they can turn left on red in the face of oncoming traffic, or if they could drive their vehicle up on the sidewalk, or if they could drive with their cell phone in their hand, or they decide that they don't have to come to work on time because they tired anyway. Dear Bahamians, other Bahamians rely on you doing your job for their survival. And we are all relying on each other to do their job as citizens. And that is simple. To do what you know you ought to do when you know you ought to do it. And most of all, I'm speaking to politicians and the political class. Thank you, Arlington. Thank you very much. And thank you to my audience for staying tuned to On the Clock with Erin Greene this Monday, the 23rd of August. Stay tuned because Levan Miller and Unleashed is up next. It's going to be a wonderful day, Bahamas. It's going to be a great day.